Everybody, welcome to our earliest alerts. I'm going to start you off first off talking about the tropics, and then we'll get into the radar trends locally, and then we'll talk about October, weather-wise for us as well. Jose, real quick, still a hurricane, not overly organized. It's still offshore, which is good. The forecast track is for it to kind of graze across New England, so the surf is already up. It's been up for a while. There'll be some beach erosion, some gusty winds from that, some rain, but they will be on the weaker side of Jose, which is good. So not overly concerned about major impacts from that. But NOSAC tries to do another little loop. Tries to do another loop-de-loop, if you will, and wants to head back toward the United States. I don't know what the deal is with Jose, but it's got some issues, it looks like. Bigger concern is going to be, of course, Maria. Growing fast. It's already a Cat 2, bearing down on St. Lucia right now. Forecast to become a Category 4. It will go just south of Irma's track to the islands, which means it'll be more of a direct hit for Puerto Rico, unfortunately, as a powerful hurricane at a Cat 4. It will then turn to the Eastern Bahamas, but how much of that turn is going to be crucial for those, say, in the Bahamas and, of course, the Carolinas. Is that going to impact or not? We have several fronts moving in during this time period, including a really strong front into our neck of the woods, and I think that may be just enough to turn this one out far enough out to see it where it's not going to bother the mainland. But for the islands, it's almost a sure bet, of course. But we'll see how that plays out. Okay, here locally, look at the visible satellite. You see the fog in eastern Kentucky in the valleys. It's kind of a cool image, and you can really tell where we've had some downpours popping. If you can see that on the image, you see the cumulus clouds kind of bubbling up there around southwest Indiana and western Kentucky. That is where these downpours are. Get some lightning now starting to pop up. Not too far away from Evansville, so nothing severe, but some scattered downpours and showers continue to blossom. I did up the rain chance a bit more for this morning period to account for this, because the models have not had a good handle on how these are triggering right off the bat here this morning, so that is certainly going to affect the rain chance just a bit. But here's the setup. We're getting kind of a squeeze play here, because we have Jose over here. We have this front in here that's trying its best to send moisture right into the Ohio Valley, but we've still got high pressure in between. That is kind of getting a squeeze play done to it. But unfortunately for us, or fortunate, depending on how you look at it, the western side of that high is weakening, and that is allowing the rain to get closer and closer to I-65 today, and that's why the rain chance is back in the forecast today, tomorrow, likely into Wednesday. And then after that, the high itself is actually going to get stronger and build a little more back to the west, and that will then take any fronts that try to make a run at us and keep them back there to the west of us, and we'll begin to see a drier forecast again. But for the next few days, the western side of this high is weak enough that we got to keep the rain chance into the forecast. So let me show you. Here's the current radar trend, and here's the RPM. You couldn't even notice the difference, did you? All I did was put one little blip, I think, right there near Indy. That was it. So it's initialized poorly. Now, normally I wouldn't show it because it initialized poorly. However, I do think it has a decent idea of how the afternoon is going to go, so I'm going to stick with it on that idea alone, that I think we will have a break in the action. We'll get some heating, and then we'll get more showers and thunderstorms. And I do like what it's doing overnight tonight and bringing in a band of some showers and thunderstorms approaching at sunrise from the west. I think it's maybe a little bit too slow. I think it'll be a little bit faster than this. Moving in during the day, that'll fade out, and then more activity will fire during the afternoon. So a cloudier day tomorrow. But even today, if we don't get any decent sun breaks, we're not going to get to the forecast high of 88, that's for sure. That will keep us a lot lower. But so far, even the HRRR model, which I didn't load in, has the activity going on to the west of us. It does fade it out here toward lunch and then redevelops the afternoon activity. And it's that fading out and the waiting for the new part to develop that would give us our temperature surge today. So I'm going to leave everything alone for right now, and I'll analyze the new stuff coming in right now for the midday show coming up. Let's look toward the weekend, though. What you're looking here is GFS model and its ensemble. Here is the Euro and then the Canadian. They all see Maria entering there in the northern side of the Bahamas. The operationals do. The operational Canadian, the Canadian is awful close to Florida. The ensembles, fairly decent with each one of their ideas. They're a bit slower than the actual models are. But one thing you need to look at, though, is just how warm it is. Here's our high. It's kind of protecting us here. And you can see how things really begin to warm back up across the eastern part of the country, while the west is chilling down. Now, as we head toward the next week, around the 28th, this is where we start to see what I like to call a season changer front. We usually see these in spring and in the fall. These are the ones that usually knock down any chance for the main core season to come back. So this would be the one that would likely keep the summer from fighting back for another revenge. And I'm seeing signs, and GFS doesn't know where to put the main low. Euro's way north, Canadian, or the GFS is more to the south. The ensembles, not much help. I have the general idea there's a low coming. We just got to figure out how strong that low will be, because right now I've got it moving in, I believe, on the 27th or 28th. And usually, and I went slower than what the models had actually this morning. So if there's a chance we could delay this all the way until the 1st of October. It wouldn't surprise me. But the CFS model, the monthly runs of it have done kind of crazy stuff. But the sub-monthly runs that update just for a weekly basis have actually done pretty good. This is what it has for the end of September. And that looks right on here. Of course, it's pretty easy to get a decent forecast when you're this close to the time period. But chilly out west, this is compared to normal, and then east, obviously warmer. Then as we head into the very, very last few days of the month and head into the first 10 days of October, it shows the flip to a cooler than normal pattern for our neck of the woods. Then the west begins to heat up. A whole seesaw effect going on there. And then as we head toward Halloween, we see the flip again. Back to cold and then warm. Now, there's a lot of theories in how things can play out from here. There's always the Gary Lezak, meteorologist in Kansas City, has a thing called the Lezak theory, that your pattern in October will reflect a lot of what the winter will be like. This may end up being similar to what the winter, I think, is going to be like, where we have a lot of cold air that is going to be, my pen will work, come on. A lot of cold air, colder than normal air, I should say, locked in across this part of the country, and then we may have a warm air angled surge through here, because there's signs that subtropical jet may line up here because the ocean waters are quite warm, which is why the hurricane activity. And I think that is going to keep the storm track very busy for our neck of the woods. But we also have cold air to the north. It's all a matter of, do they ever meet up? And nobody will know that until we get to days before it happens. But it's an interesting setup for the winter. I'm not yet ready to declare a winter forecast yet. We got until Halloween before I get into that. But it is interesting to see at least the CFS sniffing out an idea. And you add in the Lezak theory into that, and it gets even more interesting. So we'll see how it plays out, guys. That's it for today. See you on midday.